So I feel like I need to go further in explaining the sheer stupidity of the French elections. For that, I'm going to talk about each candidate in the roster of useless in their own videos. Or I just feel like complaining some more, which I know, surprising for a French person. Let's start with the ones that have absolutely no chance of winning the elections. In the far left, we have lutte ouvrière, Nathalie Arthaud being their candidate. Translated to workers' struggle, these people are outwardly communist. But the one good thing they have going for them is that they are not the actual Communist Party, though that's a pretty low bar even for the French electoral left. They are trustyites, and if you think that's good, well, they go by their words and will never win an election. This party, along with the Communist Party and a bunch of other leftist parties in France, generally do better at being in protest rather than doing politics. But all this doesn't explain what they're about. Nathalie Arthaud is highly critical of the left, and she thinks that they are all liars or people that go through half measures despite their pretty words, which is pretty easy criticism when you've never been in power yourself. But also true, as radicalism tends to leave the table as soon as the elections happen. Her positions are nothing but radical, and most of which I agree with. But she falls in the same problems that she criticizes. They are ideologues, with no concept of how change is made. People that prone revolution without the slightest clue of how to get anywhere close to it, so, like good communists, they just endlessly propagandize it. You can prone for a leftist revolution all you want, if you don't bring anything to the table but complaints, you're going to remain a small group your entire life and therefore not really convince anybody. Looking at her program needs anyone that reads it to understand that it's just about taking position, not proposing solutions. Well, they propose one revolution. My main criticism with the far left in France, they are really good at radicalizing people within protest and pointing fingers at issues. But when it comes to fixing those, their programs fall short. They are also fucking LARPers. The goal isn't to win the election, but to just spread a message. And that's by your own admission. The goal of a campaign isn't winning the election, but spreading class consciousness, which is why she doesn't ally with any other leftist party and just separates the left wing votes even further. And that's where I stop being nice though. I'm fine with their thinking that they're gonna change the world and destroy capitalism through using the election as a way of protest. But the way they talk about the vaccine pass is really reminiscing of the way anyone that doesn't understand how authoritarianism works speak. They seem to place themselves in opposition to the current leading parties, by principle, which is very similar to the way all of the other parties love to do so. I won't buy into their dreams of united workers that will never happen as long as they don't try to do the work to actually make good change. In conclusion, this party has all the aesthetics of radicalism, but they are nonetheless fucking useless within an election by design, as the common people will not see their endless ranting as an actual fucking program. If your singular goal is to rant about how bad the system is, you should remember that you're not the only ones pointing fingers at those problems, and the other parties tend to propose solutions to them. Alright, rant done. Be kind to each other.